Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Christian Grayson. I'm a senior account executive here at KIS. I want to thank you all for making time to join us today for this learning event. I hope that you will find it worthwhile. It's a fun thing that we do. And for those of you who are not familiar with KIS, please know that we have been around for probably 35 years, or very close to 35 years here in Fremont. And our mission has been to keep IT simple for our clients. That is what we do. So in a nutshell, we're your one-stop shop for anything at all that's cloud related, infrastructure related. Doesn't matter whether you're running hybrid cloud or private cloud, or whether you're looking for specific point products or even services for implementation. We find that that being able to speed the time to value by having a professional installation is always the way to go. So hopefully you're at the same mindset there. So if you're looking for anything, call your KIS rep and let them do the legwork. So from time to time, we will invite one of our technology partners to join us for a learning event, a presentation. And that's the purpose is twofold. It's an opportunity for our partner to showcase their latest and greatest, and at the same time show us maybe their roadmap and be available for questions. And it's also a time for you to really save on your research. And we know that we can go to websites all day. We look at them, they all look very similar, even same colors, same diagrams, same claims, but sometimes we don't get the answers that we're looking for, the specific answers for our environment. So here's your opportunity to save some time by asking those tough questions directly from the people who have developed the product. So that's pretty much what these learning events are about. So today, our technology partner today is Barracuda. And you're probably very familiar with Barracuda. They're certainly a mover and shaker in the cybersecurity business. And they've been working on the latest and greatest, which is SASE. And it's not the self-addressed stamped envelope. It's the new technology for security. So basically, it's the overall encompassing umbrella around your entire environment, at least, yeah, sort of. So with that, I would actually like to pass the microphone over to Mike Golgoff from Barracuda, and Mike will regale us with this fabulous product. Take it away, Mike.
Yes, thanks very much, Christian, and I want to thank KIS for inviting me to speak at this event. And once again, welcome to listen into our webinar, to our discussion today. I run product marketing for Barracuda, and of course, hopefully, Barracuda, we provide innovative, easy to use cybersecurity solutions, and primarily in the areas of email, data, network, and application security. And today, of course, we're going to talk about primarily network security, but it involves, as Christian mentioned, across the board, a lot of things. So I think first we're going to do some fun questions, right, Jane?
Yep. From the Alex Trebek stage, we have Jane.
Yes. So let's, Christian, please do help me with the trivia questions. Let's start this, and you will have so you will have 10 seconds to answer it via poll that will pop up, and the winners will be announced at the end of the presentation. We will sending you an email to everybody along with recording, slides, and any additional resources, and there will be a list of winning folks who win. Why we send it after? Because we collect the time stamp on who is answered correctly at the right time. I mean, at the first time. And of course, if you're there is a correct answer, you will win 24. The first 5 questions are $25 each. The last one is $50. There's one winner per question, so everybody has a chance to play and win something. So let's start with our first.
Secure Access Service Edge can be deployed as a, okay, that leaves me hanging a little bit. Network firewall, secure remote access solution, a web security solution, or all of the above. Gosh, I think the answers are coming in pretty quickly.
Yes, and let me give you a heads up. We're gonna have 15 seconds. So here to go, and the correct ending poll. Correct answer is D, and we can share the results. So yes, majority of you, 80% of you guys send it correctly. It's D. Yay, good job.
Excellent. Yes.
All the above, huh? Okay.
Yes. All right, next one.
Oh, the term SASE was coined by, now that's a tough one. Who coined that? Who started that?
Yes, who started? There you go.
Was it by Barracuda? Was it Gartner or Microsoft or Forrester? I think it's on the right-hand side of the screen somewhere.
And you have 15 seconds. I give you 15 seconds to answer it. And there you go. And we have B, Gardner. And of course, actually, well, good. That's good that you guys didn't say Forrester. Forrester, yes. But it's very interesting that I said Barracuda, Microsoft, but yes, it's Gardner said it. So good job. Yes.
All right. Well, that's
By
certainly.
the way, Forrester has a similar term, or for the same thing, and it's called they call it zero trust platform. Just FYI, but yeah, we're gonna talk about it quite a bit. So at the end of this session, you'll definitely know the answer.
All right. So.
All right. Well, let's take it away.
Okay, so we're ready to roll now, I think. So I am going to share my screen. And I am going to go into presentation mode. So hopefully everybody can see the title, Understanding SASE and How to Implement It Quickly and Easily. So we're going to go through some concepts today. We're going to also discuss a bunch of issues related to SASE. And look, I think it's going to be a lot more fun if you guys have questions. So please just put them in the chat. That's probably the easiest way for us, and we'll keep track of it as we go along. Okay, so let's kind of get moving here. And first, and Christian, I think we were chatting about that before. Like the network security challenges, they just keep rolling, and in these days they've gotten quite complex. So just to get us going, I think it would be helpful for us to go through some of the key network security challenges and talk about them a little bit. So the first one is, and we've been talking about quite a bit over the last few years, it's moved to public cloud. And of course, the reason organizations are moving to public cloud are because for the agility, for the flexibility of being able to scale up and down. So I think everybody's quite familiar with this, but it does create challenges for security for sure. The second one related to this, but a little different, is SaaS adoption, right? So what is SaaS? I think everybody knows, right? Software as a service. So the biggest application of SaaS is Microsoft 365, of course. But there are many others. Salesforce is another example, right? Google Apps and just a bunch of other things. And as you know, in business, we are using many SaaS applications to keep track of, expense reporting and HR and all kinds of things. And what's happened is that nowadays, Christian, the numbers we're seeing, even smaller companies have dozens, if not into hundreds of SaaS applications that are deployed. Yeah. And the interesting thing about it is that, a department of a company goes and just signs up for a SaaS application. The IT guys don't necessarily even know. So these are the shadow SaaS applications.
Yeah.
And of course, these applications, they communicate to each other via API. So there are lots and lots of opportunity for hackers to get in, and it's a threat. Next one, we hear about these things in the news more than anything else, but if you are in manufacturing or healthcare or utilities, the industries that use things, right? IoTs, Internet of Things, in these cyber physical systems, we've seen attacks on them, and those attacks are accelerating. And I think it's last year that we at Barracuda did the study here, Christian, and we found that 94% of IT-focused operational technology-focused organizations got hit. 94% got hit.
Yeah. Well, you can imagine that the difficulty in keeping those patched, right? So we're all familiar with how to, patch Tuesday with Microsoft and people getting on board, and they know that there's going to be a threat. But when you're looking at devices that are sitting out there, or they are used in manufacturing, or they are IoT devices, even like cameras, those probably get installed and forgotten about. So, for people to remember all the stuff that they have in the environment and keep it all current, that's going to be a huge challenge.
So actually, one example that we've had is a major city. This happens to be outside of the United States, but we've deployed a SASE system to the city for their police department, and they of course have cameras, the mobile cameras that they wear, and so this all connects everything together, right? So if you think of the types of applications here, there are many, and of course everything needs to be kept secure. The other thing is, I like to say that COVID finished what digital transformation started, which is making this work from anywhere real, right? So through when COVID came, everybody was working from home, and it really happened. Now every IT department had to support everybody, and in fact, even today, I would challenge you to, especially for larger organizations, IT doesn't really know on any particular day where the users are going to be working from. And that is a very, very challenging thing to do, right? Because so they have to assume that the entire user population has to be in the office or outside of the office on any day. And they have to support both of these things no matter what. That's very challenging. So that's another key trend that we are seeing. And of course, I'm sure you're experiencing this all the time. Is at the same time, it's very difficult to find cybersecurity experts. I think the numbers around the world are something like 3.4 million open cybersecurity jobs that just cannot be filled. And when you look at that, it's just there's no way. So there are new ways, and so the systems need to evolve to be able to fill that need, and that's another thing that we're dealing with. And of course, these days, everything needs to be cost effective, because you've got financial sector in trouble. You have sort of the continued effects of the war in Russia and Ukraine. You've got continued effects of 3 years of COVID, so that people don't just have money lying around to spend, and so they need to really focus on those things that are important. Any comment on any of this, Christian?
No,
okay.
They are very, very obvious, very obvious challenges right there, and everybody's facing them at some point, some form.
Yep. And so if we look at kind of just a very simple picture of the world here, you've got everything interconnected, right? You see in this picture here, you have users. They might be working from home in the morning and then going to the office, working from the office. They're connecting to things in the office, applications in the cloud, Microsoft 365 and SaaS applications. all these things, right? And then you even have in some industries these things, machines, robots that are connected. And I think that the key thing here is that the traffic patterns have changed because of that. You can no longer have, just puts everything through a firewall in a central location, your headquarters, and everything goes through, it gets a security policy. You just can't do that anymore. It just doesn't work. And so the challenge for companies today are, you need to be able to connect any user in any location, right, to any application that could be anywhere, private, public, SaaS. And the only way to really secure it all is to have the ability to somehow apply a common set of policies, security policies.
Absolutely. Yep.
Very, very challenging to do. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, in what's available now in technology and how to handle that. So, back to our question, who coined SASE? It was Gartner. And it's important to kind of understand what that is, and at this more simplistic level, it's basically networking functionality and security functionality coming together and being delivered from the cloud to the edge of the cloud, right? From the edge of the cloud to the user. And so on the network side, it's primarily SD-WAN. Many of you may be familiar. Of course, SD-WAN, it automates, optimizes the network and secures the network, makes it a lot more efficient. We'll talk about benefits. And on the sort of security side, you've got these terms again, so firewall as a service. Well, what is that? That's just firewall being deployed as a SaaS from the cloud. You've got the zero trust network access. So we'll talk about that, right? So this is your, constantly verified granular, access control for users. You've got the a web security, right? Secure web gateway, which is making sure protecting users from going to the sites that could be putting them in the organization at risk. And cloud access service broker, that's the functionality. It kind of sits in the middle in the connection between the user and application and provides more visibility and control. And that altogether is SASE. And according to Gartner, 80% of all organizations are going to be deploying SASE by 2025, 4 out of 5. Now, why is that? Why is that, Christian?
That would be because of that common control and the ability to apply those policies. Obviously, if you have a CASB, you can apply your policies, but if you're doing, if you want, incorporate your firewall, and I see zero trust as well. Yep. And also SWG, I assume, is your secure web. What is that? SWG. I missed that.
Secure web gateway.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's
be
your
able to
web
apply
security.
a common
web filter.
Yeah. So apply your common policies right across.
Yep.
Is I mean, it's that single point of control that you need. Yeah.
Yep. No, absolutely. So 4 out of 5. That's a very big percentage, and the reason is really a lot of these things that you just named. But let's talk about the value, like what you get out of SASE, why you would go and deploy it. Let's talk about that a little bit. So and we start with it truly enables remote and hybrid work the right way, because you need to be able to deliver the service as close to the user as possible. That drives performance, that drives security, simplicity, and everything else, right? So the ultimate thing is this like hairpinning, right? Which is an industry term for somebody sitting at home and they could be connecting directly to Office 365 and get Microsoft 365 and getting full access and excellent performance. Instead, they've been routed through their corporate network through their corporate firewall to somewhere in Microsoft, to Office 365 and back. And every request goes that way. And guess what? In most cases, any kind of security is disabled for Office 365 traffic because they can't do much with it, and Microsoft's already doing something. So this is the type of thing that's avoided, so that remote users can really be supported. The other thing is it really strengthens the security posture, reduces the risk. The biggest thing here, I think, is because you don't have multiple systems to manage, enhance the risk misconfiguring. Because if you have 5 things that are all doing security, and each one you have to go in, and each one is set up all the users and all the policies and everything else, your probability of messing something up is very high, in your process of debugging and finding what the issue is very complex, especially if those systems are from different vendors. And that's what our customers are finding themselves in the middle of. I don't know, Christian, if you've seen any customers that have like different security systems from different vendors and they're trying to figure out what's wrong. I've seen this. You probably.
It's kind of funny, actually, isn't it? Because some people think that if I have multiple vendors and I have different products, and one will catch something and the other one might not catch, that sort of thing, right? However, that is probably a false economy. It probably makes a lot more sense to go with a one vendor, because once you have to worry about keeping everything maintained, patched, with the latest risks taken care of, I think you're a lot better off going with a one vendor. But that's just me thinking aloud here.
No, absolutely. And a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I was at a Gartner conference, and they had a very different story that they were telling this year, I found, because they always come out and they say, best in class this and best in class that, and the efficacy of this and how you can be this much more secure in this specific area and who the best vendors are. This year they came out and they said, you know what, the IT and security departments cannot handle it. It's just too much. And so what they were suggesting is the minimum effective security, meaning minimum effective number of systems deployed, minimum effective, number of people you need to support, like all of that, right? Very different story, because even if you had the best of everything, managing is just impossible these days.
I know. The people getting hacked today, it's not like they don't have firewalls in place, right?
Right.
Chances are that they've already been told there was an issue. They probably just missed an alert, something to that effect, because they didn't have the horsepower of the people to actually go back and look at it in real time, right?
Yep. The next benefit I want to talk about is performance and reliability, because this is almost like a classical thing in the industry where you've got this trade-off between security and performance, right? Oh, you turn on your security processing, so your performance of the network goes down, right? So we've seen all of this. Well, guess what? SASE changes that, right? It changes that, because with this technology, you're able to both improve the performance and reliability and improve security. Now, why is that? Because you are getting rid of all these inefficiencies, right? Like what we talked about, the hairpinning example. The traffic, we talked about traffic patterns changing. And so for any particular user, the system needs to be smart enough to figure out what application they're connecting to, what level of security to apply, what is the best performance. And we do in our technology a lot of these things where we kind of probe different types of circuits and things are available to us, and then pick the best performance. All of this optimization happens here. And at the same time, while the system is doing a lot, the complexity of management is much lower. You got just one thing to manage now, and it's simplified. And I'll show you later when we take a look at the demo just what that looks like. I think you'll see is a very different kind of experience. By the way, let me all remind you, please put your questions in the chat. I think we'll be happy to answer them. If we can't, we'll get back to you later. But between Christian and I, we'll try to answer the questions that come in. So please go ahead and ask us if anything comes to your mind as we go through. Again, you don't need as many security experts in your company, which you can't hire anyway, because, and if you can hire them, it's very hard to retain them. And then ultimately reduces your total cost of ownership and improves your return on investment, right? So all of these benefits are driving this 4 out of 5 that we talked about of companies just a couple of years from now deploying this technology. And people have started, right? So, and so, with that, with all these benefits, I'm just want to introduce to all of you something that we just launched last month, is our Barracuda SecureEdge platform. And what does it do? You can secure your users, your sites, meaning your offices and other things, and your things like IoT type devices with one easy to deploy cloud first platform that has this flexibility of connecting any device, whether you are, a laptop or mobile, iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, Linux, anything, and it can connect to any application, whether it's a legacy one you might have in a data center, or a newer web application you deployed in public cloud, or even SaaS, or any workload in the cloud. So that's a lot, right? And so we're just very excited about what this technology is going to do, and really excited to talk to as many people as possible about it. One thing I want to talk about is, while this is a brand new platform, it is not a brand new set of things that Barracuda has never done before. We've in fact taken everything we've been working on for the last few years, and we've combined it together into SecureEdge. So we of course have had our CloudGen firewall, which is enterprise grade firewalls that you may be familiar with. We've had this for years, and those of course run as firewalls or SD-WAN. We were the first to then take this technology and build it right into Azure Virtual WAN, Microsoft, right? Combine it in the cloud. We then secured it, and we've just continued to build on our platform to combine it all into this Secure Access Service Edge platform that delivers all those benefits. And so we're very excited now that people are finally, mostly come out of COVID and looking at infrastructure projects and all of that kind of stuff to have this available. Let's talk a little bit about use cases, because you might think that this is kind of like an all or nothing. It is not. This is the opposite. So one of the key advantages is that we can deploy in many simple or more complicated use cases. It can grow with you. The first one, right, is just cloud delivered managed firewall, right? So, for a long time, we've had this challenge with CloudGen firewall. The complexity, it can do anything, but the complexity was high for some customers. Now we have something that could be completely managed and delivered through the cloud easily, and I'm going to show you that, right? So a very simple application could be, you just have one location and you need a firewall. Well, maybe instead of just traditional firewall, you can go deploy from the cloud. You can deploy on premises, and you can have the possibility to grow into all additional kinds of use cases. You open another location, now you can create SD-WAN between those two locations. and that, policy that's deployed across. And at the same time, you can now connect users directly to the cloud, and they don't have to connect them to the box. You can if you want to, so you get this flexibility. So those are major
Right.
deployments, and we are looking at this for working with our core partners and our managed service partners to deliver this to customers.
So you could apply the policies on the firewall that's sitting in the cloud, and then work from anywhere without having to worry about the hairpinning penalty as far as performance is concerned.
Yeah, exactly. That's an excellent question, and that's what we kind of show very quickly in this diagram here, Christian. So it shows what the architecture here, and it looks complicated, but it doesn't have to be, because you don't have to have this full thing. You can deploy any particular piece of it. So here, one thing you see these buildings here, and so you've got maybe a location, and that location can be then connected to, we have this edge service now available, which runs in the cloud, and anything could be connected to it. So you can connect your location there. You can connect different locations, either networked through through the sites through SD-WAN, or directly to the edge service. And the people, the users, and we have laptop here, but this could be mobile device as well. They can be connected directly to the edge service. You don't have to connect them to and hairpin anything, and everything is optimized here as part of that infrastructure, right? We have our new client that's deployed on these devices that has the intelligence to optimize your endpoint, to break out directly to things like Microsoft 365, so you don't have to go through any kind of complex routing, right? It has the ability to optimize that. You can have your industrial refrigerator connected right into the edge service, right, with something like a secure connector that we have. And all of that is managed together. All of that is deployed via zero-touch deployment. What does that mean? You need something new in a new location. It's pre-configured. You send it out, you plug it in, it comes alive, and it gets configured with that policy that you mentioned. And all of that policy, you have a simple management portal that I will show you that allows you to configure all of this. Another important component, we have this SD-WAN connectors to which again comes with a system. This is not a paid for component that allows you to connect to various types of workloads and applications in different servers in the cloud. So this is kind of what the system looks like from the architecture perspective. Again, does anybody have questions? Christian, do you have questions?
No, I was just thinking one day it's going to be to a point where we just give them our Google Gmail, that's it, and it'll do the rest for us.
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
It's a bit scary with ChatGPT.
Yes, ChatGPT, exactly. There's lots of things. So I think what we're going to do now, Jane, is I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to do a couple more questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Let me just get my stuff ready. All right. And share the screen. Ready to go.
All right.
We've gone through this one. So we go to the
Customer
next
benefits. One. There we go.
Oh, customer benefits. Sorry. Yes.
Yep. So customer benefits of SASE do not directly include.
So we're looking at things that are not included, right?
Right.
Not included.
So it would be stronger security, cost savings, increased revenue, or improved performance.
All right, you have 10 seconds, less than that. There you go, and Paul. And the right answer is C.
Yep.
Excellent.
Increased revenue. Excellent. Good job.
Yeah. So we figure out how to improve your security, how to it's at the same time improve performance and deliver cost savings. We have not yet figured out how to increase your revenue as a business. That may be for next, but yeah.
Work on that. Work on that. Yeah.
Yes. All right, next one. Let's do it.
Oh, hang on. I have a quiz in the middle here. The following is not a component of Barracuda SecureEdge. Is not a component.
There you go.
Edge service, control center, site, device, or SD-WAN connector.
And the correct
It's like
answer is, what do you
it's coming
think,
in.
Christian?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, I would go with C.
See? Nope,
Oh,
that's
well,
not
look at
correct.
that.
Yes. All right, let's do it. It's B. And we have actually a lot of people
Hang on,
actually.
wait a minute, wait a minute. The following
Okay,
is not
I
a
have to move
component.
this over.
You might have to explain
Is
that
not,
because
is not. Yes. So sorry,
Oh.
these get harder as we go along. But I talked about the other three just now as we looked at our diagram, right? So edge service is what runs in the cloud that everything connects to. Side device, it's absolutely part of the system here, because if you want to terminate in a site, you can have a box there to basically control and optimize everything locally. SD-WAN connector, we talked about, that connects to on the other side to the applications and other cloud areas. Control center is what we use with CloudGen Firewall to manage large multi-CloudGen Firewall deployments. We do not have a need for that here because we do it through Edge Service and the management port. So sorry, this is a hard one.
tricky.
This is a hard one.
Yes,
Tricky.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh well.
That was good.
Okay. Let's see. You know what we're going to do now is let me just take a minute here. We're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what it looks like.
Yay! Let's do it.
That's where the fun comes, right? If it works. So
Yeah.
let me find and share. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the dashboard, and this is where you see in kind of real time all of your infrastructure. So if you see the blue boxes are sites, those are specific locations, and the purple ones are edge services, right? So like if you have a very large deployment globally, you want your edge service POPs to be close enough, right? And you can take a look here that in this case, this is the US edge service, 20 scale units. You've got 10 gig across this hub. And, here you have a specific location. This is in Alpharetta, and you've got a site device there. Let me just go back here for a second. So that's the overall dashboard, and you can see even from the dashboard, you've got 9 green things online, right? You have 9 edge service POPs online, and they're in green. That means that they're all operating. You've got 1 offline. So there you go. You have Europe West edge service that is offline. You will know right away on your dashboard. And you'll have, yeah, go ahead, Christian.
What's the number 2 on Austria?
Oh, that means you've got to get closer to see this. You just got 2 edge services locations, 2 POPs. Again, if you want to optimize a very large network, you might need to have that. You can see all of your sites. This gives you all of the actual firewall type boxes that sit in different places that connect to the edge service, and you can see, all of them here. And then, as I mentioned, you can go and you can configure all your infrastructure here. You can add edge services. In many cases, you will just have one POP. If you're more of a local setup, you can see all of your sites that I showed you before. You can configure them here. You can configure your SD-WAN connectors, do all of this, or you can move on and you can look at access. So you can look at users. All of your users that are configured on the system will be here. Points of entry, where do they connect? You can have security policies, very important. All of that that is managed here centrally. So you've got your ACLs, you've got SD-WAN. This is an interesting one to take a look at. We've done a lot of optimizations here. So this is the only system in the market that we know of that comes pre-configured with your applications. It's the easiest SD-WAN to configure because you don't have to get down to the level of specifying routes, specifying those kinds of things you're not familiar with. We already say, okay, Office 365, we already optimized it for you, right? You can change it, but you can see here, how do you optimize best bandwidth, best latency? The system has enough intelligence to already say, hey, if this particular user is connecting to SharePoint, I'm going to optimize that particular interaction by bandwidth, right?
Wow.
But if I'm now using Teams, latency is important. I'm going to optimize on latency. And so every application is pre-configured, and if you need something different, then you can, of course, go in and configure a new one.
So like automatic SD-WAN, pretty much.
That's right, auto SD-WAN. Intent. They call it intent based networking these days. You've got your web filtering, so you can set the sites that you don't want people to go on. So you allow everything except for these, and you can obviously customize. You can do advanced threat protection for everything across the system, and you can do exclusions where you do not want to scan, like you don't want to scan ATP on Microsoft 365 traffic because it's already optimized within Microsoft. Where were we? SSL inspection, you can set encrypted traffic to be decrypted, inspected, and re-encrypted, except in certain situations, you might want to have health records. You don't want to do that, right? So you don't want to get access to that. All done here, very easily, as you can see. IPS, intrusion prevention, again, scan and enforce, except I, for some reason, don't want to do this engineering type team because they're doing something fancy. Zero trust access, we talked about that, right? So zero trust access, here you can, do this by group, and you specify policies, and this is where your specific, anybody in this group is going to get a certain set of policies, connect them only if they're on the laptop, but not on a mobile device, or if they're on a mobile device, it requires some additional authentication, or all the zero trust stuff. You've got your audits, you've got your notifications. So this is kind of what the system looks like. I just wanted to give you kind of a high level view. So what do you think there, Christian?
I think you need to work on your colors.
Colors, you don't like the purple. You don't like the purple.
Well, that's a gray, more than gray, It's kind of plain. No, yeah. But it looks very simple. It's almost like, it looks pretty easy to work with.
Yeah.
The fact that you've got so can you show us, well, you did, okay, you showed us where you're adding the policies there and you're combining the policies for access. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
So I think what we're going to do, first of all, questions. I can go back to the demo if we need to, but questions. No questions? Okay, so let's go back to the presentation for just a few minutes. Summarize a few things here. So now we've looked at the system, and you've seen how to sort of manage it through the UI, right? So we showed you some screens. We also did not leave our CloudGen firewall customers behind. We have a way to configure SecureEdge with existing CloudGen firewalls that are installed out in the market, where they will provide enforcement. So you will go in and you will configure, for example, zero trust access for users, right? Which is a new set of functionality that's not available in CloudGen firewall. You can go ahead and do it through SecureEdge, Edge service. Those policies will now be enforced across your entire network, including existing CloudGen firewalls. So you configure them through SecureEdge, you do security policy implementation through your entire network, including existing CloudGen firewalls.
So do you have to tell it about these Barracuda firewalls, CloudGen firewalls, or will it just go find it itself? Will it just go discover them, knowing that they're part of the whole thing?
That's a good question, and that's one that you stunned me. I don't know the answer to this one. I think I have to go and find out. But we certainly can configure it, knowing all of the information about these CloudGen firewalls. But this is a good question. I'll get the answer to it. Okay. I just want to kind of summarize now the advantages of SecureEdge. First, and we haven't talked about that, but it's a single vendor SASE platform. This is important. So you'll see SASE implementations, and sometimes many customers will go and implement SASE by using two different vendors. They will use somebody for SD-WAN and somebody else for security. That's common. That is not a single vendor SASE platform. You don't get a full set of benefits. You get close, but you still have two pieces that you need to integrate and manage. And again, unmatched use case agility. It could be very simple or very complex in how we set it up. It has best-in-class secure SD-WAN capabilities. We've taken all of this experience we've had with CloudGen firewall and distributed enterprise use cases. We've rolled it all into SecureEdge, and we've added things like optimization down to the actual individual endpoint used in the client, where we can optimize using something called FEC, forward error correction. So this is what I was talking about. Your endpoint will actually look for anything that's available to you and connect you to the best possible configuration. It can also prioritize your traffic over other traffic you perhaps have at home. Somebody's playing video games and you're trying to do a Zoom call. You can prioritize and slow down the video game, not the Zoom call. Things like that. And then connectivity. So as I mentioned, we have clients or agents that can be deployed to any desktop, any laptop, any mobile device, and it all works together, including even industrial IoT type things. So that's kind of the presentation. I'd like to suggest that you talk to us, talk to KIS, talk to Christian, talk to us at Barracuda about SASE. The benefits are tremendous. It's a game changer, and you can check out the demos, the stuff I was showing you. You can go and you can see for yourself and sign up for a demo and do a drive of that. And of course, we have free trial available. So with that, that's kind of our slides, and I think we have some more fun questions. Right, Jane?
Yep. we do, but if you do have any questions relating to what Mike was talking about, plug it in a chat box while we are finishing up the
Really,
trivia.
it does make a lot of sense. So you mentioned in the beginning that 80% of people will be applying this for the next 2-3 years, right? And when you think about it, it's, it's a firewall, it's a zero trust, there's a lot of SD-WAN, there's a number of things that people are using today, but the fact that they actually determined that they need all of them. And not only do
Yeah.
they need all of them, but ideally you will get that benefit of having that single vendor. So that you can actually go through and make it a much simpler way to manage it. Because I mean, management is a huge cost of anything that we do. And it's like every time you put in a different product, you have to worry about training, you have to worry about people managing a device, keeping it updated and all that stuff. It's it makes an awful lot of sense, the whole SASE platform.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. All right, see if we get this one right. Barracuda's intent-based configuration refers to, I think you gave that away, Mike. Ooh, I think that's,
Well, don't tell them.
I know, but I think I know what it is.
What is it?
It'll be B as in boy, I think, or B as in Barracuda.
Yes, good job, Christian.
Yeah, that's a big deal because again, I think this is the simplest to configure SD-WAN in the world, kind of a message.
Yeah, automated. I mean, if it's automated, it can't get any simpler than that, right?
Yep.
That is pretty good.
All
Very
right.
cool. Oh, we have one more.
Yes, last one.
IoT devices can be connected to Barracuda Edge service via. Yeah, what would be used to connect?
Is it A as UN connector?
What would
Yeah,
be used
B
for secure
SecureEdge.
connection?
Yeah, secure.
What could be used for secure connection? I say D.
Say D. Yes. Let's do one
All
more.
right.
Yes.
I like this game. This is kind of fun, Jane.
Good. Yeah, we do have even a little music too. See if you need to think about it too. Let's play it. Anyways. All right, thank you for playing.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, please do, again, you can email us. If you don't, maybe sometime later you think about one. And there will be a little survey, feedback survey at the end. Please do give us your feedback. And any further, Christian, Mike, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And playing. No
And
problem.
I want to thank our audience for listening.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for joining us. All right. Have a nice day, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks all. Thanks, Mike. Jane.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.